Well, the continued castration of Ironwood keeps going, as well as Cinder, because she's the final villain again. RWBY, you are the worst, and you continue to be that. And Neo, God, I love you, even though I know this is a bait and switch here, but at least you pushed Yang out of an episode. But my God, they've pulled a Volume 5. Like, seriously, really? A Volume 5 all over again? Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have it better tomorrow. This is seriously Volume 5 all over again. You cannot tell me this is not Volume 5 all over again, but worse. Like, worse. If you thought Volume 5, Chapter 11 was terrible, which it was, this takes it to like a new level of how bad this could be. Because first off, you start with the portals, you have everybody getting ready to go through them. Like I said, this entire idea, yeah, it's a reference to the Yellow Brick Road, and it's uncreative because they took this from Star Wars Rebels, but this was one of the most abysmal ideas I think they could possibly think of, because it's so convenient, yet also so awful. I mean, seriously, it is atrocious. But you see the scene where Jean goes through the portal. Now, this was funny. You have a soy boy, right, who throws a rock at another soy boy. I actually laughed at this because I thought, well, at least Jean's getting what he deserves. He gets hit in the head with a rock. Now, just end his character. Just push him off the edge, please. Live, everybody! Soy boy gets hit by a rock thrown from another soy boy. Ah, man. I don't know why they thought this design was good. Like, this is the soy boy design. Like, this is what a soy boy looks like. I mean, seriously. They had to take that from Miles. Oh, but with all the awful humor they've tried to throw into the show within, like, the most recent volumes, I mean, it's been awful. But I at least laughed seeing Jean get hit in the face with a rock. That was funny. I thought that was well deserved. Good times. At least there was one thing that made me laugh in this episode. And, of course, you know, you have them jump off. Now, I just want to make this clear. They don't know what would happen if they were to fall, right? You know, Jean and Nora, because they weren't there when Ambrosius tells Team RWBY about what happens. So could you imagine if Jean's shield just deactivated mid-flight? Or if Nora ran out of ammo? They'd fall to their death. Or supposed death. And I'm saying that for a reason. You'll see what I mean later. But, I mean, seriously, bad writing right there. If only they did fall. I mean, what? Well, who said that? And then you have Cinder, because, you know, Cinder's the main villain now. Again. Because this is Volume 5 all over again. I'm serious. Like, it's so uncreative. It's so bad. It's so bad. And then Cinder blows up, like, all those people off the edge. Like, she just blows them off the edge. Like, you know, I don't feel anything for this. If anything, I just laugh because it shows the just terrible strategy of Team RWBY. And then you have that whole flashback of what the lamp was used for. People were like, oh, well, what's this question going to be? Is it going to be like Summer, you know, kind of jumping into her character? No, not at all. And they tried to bring up this whole tension between Neo and Cinder. Like, why? Like, there's no tension there. Like, zero. I don't feel any tension between that scene, like, at all. I mean, I guess that's maybe supposed to be something of trust. I don't know. Also, look at Watts. I mean, you know what he's staring at. You know what he's staring at. But, you know, the whole wish, though, to find out what it was going to be, like, with Team RWBY and everything, like, finding out their whole strategy. Like, what is this? Jen just comes forward. It's like, oh, yeah, what's Team RWBY up to? Oh, God. Talk about a waste of a question. But, of course, they're going to do this. Like, this is just a terrible way to use the relic. I mean, it's a way to just get it out of there, and then they don't have to use it ever again. Because, bye, Jen, for 100 years now. Like, bad question. And you have Cinder just basically eavesdropping on their entire strategy. Which, to me, like I said, I mean, who cares? Like, you could have just waited it out and figured out what was going to go on here. I mean, you know. And Cinder brings up one point. She brings up how, oh, look, they're destroying this country. Well, let's help them. And I'm like, this is what they've been doing the whole time. Yes, this is what the villains should have been doing. Team RWBY should have been the protagonist because that's what they're made out to be. But no, they are actually the villains, which is frustrating because this shows you how awful the writing is that even Cinder's over here acknowledging that Team RWBY are terrorists. That they have been here to destroy an entire country. And she's just like, yeah, let's go ahead and help them with it, because that's the villain's whole entire thing. That's what they should have been doing. But no, you have Team RWBY doing it. Like, oh my dear God. Like, what is this? Like, what is this writing? Seriously, it's so bad. So they start this whole entire fight with Cinder as she creates this huge flame spiral. And I'm not kidding, okay? RWBY decides because, hey, let's get ready to use Silver Eyes because Deus Ex Machina. I mean, I get so tired of seeing. This is why this ability should have been like a transformation, like a power-up, rather than a just end-all, be-all technique. This should have been a transformation to amplify her powers, because then there could have been a real fight in which you could see what could happen between two characters. That's why the Silver Eyes, I think, in my opinion, with how they have done it, is a mistake. Because this is all RWBY does now. The opportunity that she has, she just is like, Silver Eyes! And everybody's just like, oh. You know, RWBY's not about fighting anymore. She's just about using her Silver Eyes, which is terrible. And then, Best Girl is there. Just, I'm going to tell you right now. I love this scene. I know it's terrible. I know the scene's terrible. But I love this scene because you have Neo charging while she's there to take down RWBY, obviously. She does the one thing that I was still happy about because Yang jumps in the way and just boom. She just completely obliterates Yang's aura magically. And then Yang falls. Like, this is like Adam all over again. So you mean to tell me that Neo's strong enough that she can just blast through someone's aura with one hit? Like, that is overpowered if that's the case. Like, this is why I'm saying aura is so bad, because what's the point of it? What is honestly the point of it? I get it with Adam's Moon Slice, that's one thing, because that's a semblance is powerful enough that could slice through aura. I mean, that makes sense. But then when you have this, where Neo can just be all like, oh, yeah, yoink, and just smack Yang, and she just has zero aura. No aura left. And also, why did she use her semblance? Like, she didn't even absorb any damage. So what was that gonna do? Like, that makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Like, this was just dumb. What the hell's the point of aura? I mean, really, what is the point of aura now? I mean, if you can just take one smack and your aura's gone, what's the point of it? Like I said, Adam's semblance, that makes sense. He can cut through it with Moon Slice. That made sense. But, like, where Neo can just come in here and smack you once and your aura's gone, what's the point of aura? Like, really, what's the point of aura? You know, you also have in the backstory with Cinder. Cinder, you know, in the professional huntsman, he takes 3 hits and his aura's gone. 3! And he's a professional huntsman. And his aura's gone. And then RWBY with the Grim Hound, where she takes 2 hits. You know, the ground tackles her and then she gets dropped to the ground. And her aura's gone. What's the point of aura? You know, like, why does it even exist if it's just going to break that easily now in comparison to how in the past it used to not be that easy to break? What's the point? You know, retconning aura, that's always. You know, this is like the 15th time? And then Yang falling. Why didn't she just use her gauntlets to shoot over to, like, one of the bridges? See, she had an opportunity. She had an opportunity this whole time. Like, her character is stupid. She just gave up. I mean, she just gave up, fell into the abyss, and then, poof, she's gone. Which, I know, this is a bad scene, but at the same time, I laughed over it, because I was like, she's gone! I was like, she's gone from the episode at least. I was like, thank you! I was like, get her out, I'm tired of seeing her, because I get so sick of Yang. She is one of the most abysmal and worst characters in this entire series now. I mean, seriously, she is one of the most annoying parts of the show. I mean, she really is. I mean, there's a lot of characters that just, you know, are annoying to me, but Yang is one of the worst. But when I saw this happen, I couldn't help but just feel giddy about it because it was hilarious. It was like that Vector scene when he's like, oh, you thought I was your friend? Oh, no, I faked it the whole time. And Yu-Gi-Oh's excellent. It reminds me of that. Just a beautiful moment. And then Weiss, like, it reminds me of that scene with Volume 5. Just Weiss getting stabbed by Cinder. It reminds me that it's what they're doing all over again. That was a horrible scene then. It's a horrible scene now. Like I said, I'm glad Neo pushed Yang out of the episode so I don't have to see her again. But at the same time, like, this is horrible. And they pulled the Volume 5 all over again. Not surprising to me, but this is just abysmal. I mean, they're doing the same thing all over again. And here's what I'm going to say right now. I hope to God that Raven does not come in and save Yang. I know that that's a possibility, and I don't want it to happen. Because, let me explain why. We're going to have Volume 5, the exact ending, all over again. This is why this would be a very terrible thing to happen. because you're just replaying the events of Volume 5 all over again. Raven could come in there, and then they would have her beat Cinder all over again. This is what I mean by this would be a terrible thing. I mean, yes, they could do this, but Raven, if you're a good mom, let your daughter just take the consequences for her actions for a change. Please. Don't come back. Like, God, that would be horrible if she comes back, and I wouldn't doubt her she did. But, I gotta say, what was really funny was how the salt was absolutely flowing, because some people were just so mad to see Yang gone. I thought it was hilarious. But Blake reacts with a more emotional expression than RWBY. And that's her sister. Like, RWBY doesn't even care, and yet Blake cares. Blake cares more about Yang being sent to the Shadow Realm than RWBY does. Like, this is how bad it is when the sister character to Yang doesn't give a shit, but yet someone that's not even related cares more than Yang's own sister. Like, this is how bad RWBY is. That she doesn't even really care. She just gives the same, expression as Weiss, but she doesn't care. Like, you can't tell me that really cares. Also, she could have saved her sister when you think about it. She could have just used her semblance, went down, and scooped her up. But no, she just stands there and is like, oh no, yay. Okay, I'm gonna get back to fighting. Like, that's just RWBY. I mean, that's RWBY in a nutshell here. It is so abysmal that RWBY would just let her own sister fall. Yang could have saved herself, and then RWBY could have saved her. Like, even Blake at least makes an attempt to try to save her sister. This shows you how much RWBY does not care about her sister. Oh, and let me talk about the animation here, by the way. Let me talk about the animation here. This was bad. This fight with Neo and RWBY was bad. Look at the scene. Do you see what's wrong with the scene? RWBY's foot, and look at Neo's feet. They're hovering above the ground. The shadow doesn't even match up with the feet. At least for Neo. It's bad. And why does Neo look like that? She looks like a crab. What is going on here? Like, it is so abysmal. It is so bad. And then the fight between Cinder and Penny, because let me tell you right now, I really hope Cinder just annihilates Penny. Like, Penny's gotta go. Like, she's gotta go. Oh, man, I am so tired of Team RWBY. Like, the protagonists are not the protagonists. Like, this is why, I want to root for the villains, because they're more interesting. Whenever I see the protagonist, I just know that they're awful. And here they are, wanting all these citizens to go to Vacuo, which I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But when you also think about the situation, this is a terrible idea because Cinder has leverage in this situation. Cinder could just be all like, hey, if you don't jump off, or if you don't, give me the relic, which is the staff, you don't give me that, I'm just going to keep throwing people off the edge. See, that would go completely against RWBY's plan, which gives Cinder complete leverage if she were to make that offer. Like, hey, jump off the edge and give me the relic, and I'll let everybody else go. Like, Cinder could have so much leverage in this situation. Like, she could one-up the protagonist with this if she wanted to right here. Like, I don't know why she doesn't. Well, actually, no, I do, because the writers are stupid for the sake of the plot. But still, my point is, why doesn't Cinder just do this? Why doesn't she just continue to just blow through the citizens and just throw them off the edge? Like, this is what I mean. This is stupid, because she could just do this. Instead, she's being dumb and just attacking Penny. Like, it's terrible. But if you thought it was bad, let's talk about the worst scene, because this is one of the most abysmal scenes I've seen. Like, Ironwood wakes up, and conveniently, of course, his cell is starting to deactivate, because, plot. And so, while his cell is starting to deactivate, he decides he's going to walk out there. And conveniently enough, his weapons are there. When they have armory, like, where they put, I don't know, Crow's weapons and Robin's weapons when they had them captured, but, whatever, right? He just has his weapons right there. And Jacques asks Ironwood to free him. Oh, and he says, yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh, well, what does he do? Oh, he frees him, all right. He frees him from life. No, I'm serious. He kills him. Like, this is a horrible, horrible scene. This is awful. Like, just blowing Jacques to hell. Like, this is absolutely abysmal for a scene. Like, I seriously cannot stand this 1 ounce. Because this doesn't make Ironwood look good. This makes him look awful. This is more dehumanization of his character. Like, what reason did he have to kill Jacques? There was no reason for him to kill Jacques at all. Like, zero reason. Like, there's nothing that gives him the whole entire motive to do this. He just is like, yeah, sure, I'll free you. Boom, just kills him. Like, this is a terrible scene right here. Because it's just further dehumanizing Ironwood. It's just further destroying his character. You know, they want it to be Iron Man bad. They want you to hate this character, which they should not tell you who you are and are not supposed to like. I mean, and now they're just making you hate Ironwood more. That's exactly what they're intentionally doing here. And it's frustrating because Ironwood's a character that could be developed. Rather, they just throw him under the bus because they're like, hey, look, grab the weapons and take out Jacques, which is terrible. And what this also does is this stuns any growth for Weiss's character, even though they could have had all last volume to develop that, and instead they wanted to be political. They wanted to have Orange Man bad as their plot point, which was abysmal, because get your propaganda out of the show. But secondly, you know, by taking Jacques out of the equation now, by killing his character, there's nothing here that they're going to do to further elaborate what he may have possibly done to the family. They're not going to do it, which stuns the growth of Weiss, as well as Winter, and Willow, because it could have led to her drinking, which we heard that it might have, but who knows? Could be the case, could not be. As well as Whitley. I mean, you know, this is what I mean by how awful this is and how it just destroys the growth of Weiss and her family. And basically, Ironwood is Adam 2.0. I mean, that's exactly who he is now. You know, they did the exact same thing with Adam. They took Adam, they dehumanized his character, they stripped away the traits that he did have originally, and they made him basically a bad guy from Twitter. I'm serious. That's basically what they did to him. They just created a Twitter relationship out of him and Blake, and it was absolutely abysmal. It is horrible. They never showed a backstory, so we don't know what Adam was like in the past. I mean, they just ruined his character. It's terrible. It's horrible. And they're doing it again, like basically with Ironwood. So you have the scene with Crow, Robin, Hillary Clinton, and you have the bot, which Watts has hacked, and he just sends it to blow them all up, which Marrow jumps in the way to protect them. So you see this big explosion, everybody falls over, and then you have Marrow's aura that just entirely breaks. And I'll be real with you, I care nothing for these characters. If any of them were to have died in that explosion, it would not have bothered me in the slightest, because they have not given me a reason to like these characters. I mean, they've absolutely destroyed Crow, who was one of my favorite characters, and you know, all the rest of them are just awful, especially Robin Hillary Clinton. She's like the worst. And you have Harriet, who runs into one of the last few ships that's remaining. Vine jumps on as well. And they start to have what seems to be actually a good, touching moment. At least it starts to be, where you have Harriet talking about Clover, but they could have actually worked on these characters yet again last volume, or at the beginning of this one, and instead they don't. Now, I do like that they kind of try to have this heart-to-heart. It's too bad that Elm was not there for this, which would have been good. But, you know, it does show the care, the concern, you know, that Harriet did have for Clover. Possibly someone that she even looked up to, which, you know, that's good. Like I said, it's something that was like humanization for the character. It's something that can potentially give you a feel for them. To me, at this point, it's like, it's too late. You had all this time to do it, and now you're doing it. Like, to me, it's just kind of a little late for that. But what ruins the scene, so let me let me go into what ruins the scene, because when you think, oh man, we got something that's interesting, right? Then they gotta ruin it. Because then you have Robin Hillary Clinton, the worst character probably to ever be introduced in this entire series, and she just bashes the ship. She just rams into it, and I'm serious. To take a moment that could actually help improve Vine and Harriet, no, you have this abysmal character come in here and ruin the moment. I'm serious. I absolutely hate Robin Hillary Clinton with a passion. This character is a disaster. Never should have been in the series. She could be erased and nothing bad would have happened. It would have been better if she had just been erased. And you have Harriet open the cargo hold, and this is what I did not like, where Vine's holding on for dear life, and what does Harriet decide to do while he's holding on? No, she just decides to go and kick her own ally. Yeah, kick the one person that's her teammate just out of the ship. Just go, oh yeah, nope, you're going, bye. Like, get out of here. Like, are you serious? Like, Harriet, what kind of character? Like, why did they do this? Like, this made me just hate her, because I was like, he tried to help you, and now you help him by kicking him out of the ship. Like, what kind of character does that? What kind of character does that to their own ally? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this to your comrade? Like, oh, it's so bad. Crow busts through the window of the ship and they start to get ready to have a fight, which, oh, God. Like, this is horrible. Like, this is just, it's so bad. Like, there's gonna be a, what, three-way fight? Neo versus RWBY, and then Cinder versus Penny. Ironwood versus, oh, it's a four-way fight. Oh, no, that's even worse. Ironwood versus Winter, which I'll get into that in a second. Oh my dear God, the next chapter, which is the... Ugh, this is going to be Volume 5 all over again. It really is. And I was hearing that it was going to be... Oh, Jesus. And also, let me just say this. The point of the payload. Atlas is falling. Why do you even need the bomb? Like, why do you need it at this point? What's the point of it? I mean, what's it going to do? I mean, now they're just going to have this moment to where it's like, oh, we're going to have the payload, and then we're just going to nuke everything. Like, what is the point? Like, it doesn't even matter anymore, so what's the point? I mean, seriously, it's a useless plot point. It really is. And Vacuo, the whole, like, door, right? Okay, so you see everybody in the middle of the desert. You know, they're not at the kingdom. They're just in the middle of the desert. You got that soy boy design again. It's just a different model, but it's a soy boy design all over again. Seriously, they must really love Miles. And Ren's aura breaks. And this is where I'm saying there's probably going to be a death flag for Ren, possibly, because now his aura is broken. And I say this because now you've got Grimm coming in here, right? So now that you have Grimm getting ready to come in, well, this to me just looks like a death flag for Ren, which I hope not, because I still actually kind of like Ren. He's one of the few characters I still actually enjoy in this show. But yeah, I have a feeling he's going to be one of the characters going to die. I mean, there's a few. I'll get to who I think is going to die in a bit. But then Oscar tries to go back through the door, only for it to be sealed. Because Ambrosius, you know, he goes by what you tell him. So he made it a one-way ticket because Weiss said one-way ticket. What I don't understand is how Oscar was the one who picked up on that when he wasn't even there. I mean, I guess he could be like, well, you know, it could be Ambrosius. You know, I think it was Osman actually that picked up on it. But you get my point. Like, they picked up on it despite the fact that they weren't even there whenever Ambrosius said that. So, okay. I mean, unless Osman's just always been aware of what Ambrosius is capable of when he creates something. Because apparently Ambrosius gets it all the way down to a T. You know? But, I mean... Still, this was kind of weird for me to see that line get thrown in there, unless, like I said, it's Osman. That's like the only way I could see that working. Then the Grimm come in because, you know, negativity, everybody's scared, terrified, and whatnot. So, yeah, the Grimm fly in, and they start picking off people one by one. You know, you see like one person get picked up, and I think they actually go after another person. But they're all coming in there. This is what I mean by I think Ren's probably going to die because his aura is now broken. And... you know, since he doesn't have the aura to shield him, he's probably going to take pretty bad damage. So they're probably going to kill Ren. That's exactly what I mean, and that's not what I like. Because we already know Oscar is not going to die, because he is the voice for Osman, basically. Like, he is the way for Osman to talk to everybody. And then Emerald, well, you know, she has been redeemed. Oh my dear God, is it... But yeah, you know, so they're not going to kill her. So the death flags for Ren are pretty apparent. I mean, seriously, this whole plan, RWBY had to take all the people from Mantle and Atlas over here. This was absolutely abysmal. Also, Vacuo, of all the places, you decide to take all these people. You decide Vacuo is the best decision. And why did they decide Vacuo was the best decision? Because, oh man, we have just great, powerful, capable husband. Oh dear God. If you know how Vacuo works, let me explain. Vacuo is a lawless land. It's a barren wasteland that is a lawless land that if you get in a fight with somebody, well, you better fend for yourself, because that's the only way it's going to happen, because nobody's going to come in there and take care of you. And, you know, they take care of their own fights with fights. So just prepare to see all these soy boys from Atlas get somebody from Vacuo upset. Could you imagine? Oh man, it's going to get real bad real fast. Like, you could have just kept them all in Atlas. You could have had the relic. Just create something to keep Atlas flying, or create a brand new Atlas. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. They could have all been in Mantle. This is absolutely pathetic. If you didn't like the whole strategy of the weak die and the strong live from Raven, then oh man, you're gonna hate that. And Winter, we can't forget this because Winter goes back into the vault, and of course there is Ironwood. Oh man, the Ironwood scene. Oh god, this is it's so bad. This scene with Ironwood, like him crying here, there's already memes made of this, and it's absolutely hilarious. Like that. Like the memes that have already started being made of Ironwood here, like take a look at this. Just the memes. Oh, Ironwood, they've done you so dirty. Now it's just gonna be meme central for Ironwood. That's what's gonna happen to the boy. Oh man. And here's my other question with this, like with Winter versus Ironwood, because like I said, they're just gonna Adam him. Like this is like the same situation between Blake and Adam. That's what it is. Think about it. You know, Winter has betrayed Ironwood, and she's going to fight him now. It's like the same thing. You had Blake who betrayed Adam, right? And they get into that fight in the end. Well, now you have Winter who's betrayed Ironwood, and now they're fighting. Also, why is Ironwood charging Winter? Winter has blades. Ironwood has a freaking cannon. Why? Like, why? He doesn't have a blade. She can hit one blade onto that gun, and then the next thing you know, she can take the other one and just smack him in the torso or something. Like why is he charging her? Like, this is so bad. Oh, no. Like, this is what I mean. This is what I mean by this is bad. You can tell the death flags are there for Ironwood. He's going to die. And it's going to be terrible. Like, they're going to ruin his character as they have. Like, they've already ruined him, but they're just going to make it worse. I mean, it's absolutely abysmal. So what do I think of this chapter? It's Volume 5 all over again. You know, it's Volume 5 all over again. That's what it is, but worse. Like, oh, I mean, you have Cinder as your main villain. You have Neo, who's teamed up with Cinder, which, let me tell you, and I'm going to hate this. I'm going to hate this with a passion. With a red-hot passion. I'm going to hate this, but I wouldn't be surprised if next chapter they kill Neo. I'm serious. I wouldn't be surprised. And I will hate it. I will hate it. I will absolutely hate it. They're going to kill Ironwood, which, yet again, I'm going to hate that, because they've destroyed his character. You know, there could be redemption there, but no, they don't want to do that to him. They want to destroy him, which is horrible. You know, the direction of this volume, you can tell, they didn't know what they were doing. You can clearly tell, this chapter alone could sit here and tell you that, no, hey, look, we don't know what we're doing, because they don't. They have no idea what they're doing. And the writing says it all. You know, killing the main villain, which is Salem, halfway through the volume, only to have a clusterfuck of villains all over the place. I mean, seriously, these are like the worst in-game villains they could have chosen for this volume. Like, it's so bad, and it's all over the place. Like, oh, man, it's so bad. And the scenes that I really liked was Neo pushing Yang off the edge, because it shut Yang up for at least the rest of the episode. I was glad to not see her anymore. And apparently Neo's now strong enough to just smack someone's aura just completely off. Like, alright, Neo's strong enough, she's going to smack the aura straight off of you. That's basically what it was. Oh god, what is aura? What's the point of aura anyway? It's so stupid. Like, aura is just watered down. Like, there's no point to aura, really. There's just not. And at least Neo did that. I mean, props. But I hate the scene because it's basically just Volume 5 with Weiss all over again. It's bait to make people watch to see that, oh, well, Yang's gonna be fine. Again, just instead of it being Weiss, it's Yang. I mean, it's terrible. If Raven comes in to save Yang, that is gonna be awful. It's going to be way too convenient, and that's just going to be awful. Like I said, it is not going to be good. Also, I mean, you know, the only scenes that I cared for besides that was also when Cinder, Neo, and Watts were taking out the people in Atlas. I mean, that was another scene I liked. And Cinder also stating, oh, well, they're destroying a country. Well, we're going to help them. And I'm like, they've been doing it the whole time. These are not the protagonists that we've been watching. Like, just not at all. Like, these are not the protagonists. Like, oh, this is what I mean. Team RWBY, they're just a bunch of terrorists. They're evil. And their whole plan to take everybody to Vacuo is like the worst idea. And I can't stand it. Penny needs to die. Like, they just need to kill her off. And like I said, it's terrible. Jacques dying doesn't do anything for Weiss. It doesn't help her grow. In fact, it just makes her stay where she's at. I mean, this is not something that helps her. It doesn't help Weiss. It doesn't help Winter. It doesn't help Whitley or Willow. It doesn't help any of them. Like, not a single one of them gets any development from that. I mean, that's how bad this is. Like, and that doesn't help Ironwood's character. Like I said, it's just a terrible way to do this. Harriet, they ruined that scene. They could have made it good, and then they had to have Robin, Hillary Clinton, and Crow come in, and that just ruined any development those characters could have potentially had. Like I said, it's just awful. And this volume is a train wreck. It's been a train wreck. It's been a disaster, and strategy to destroy an entire country, its culture, its history. Like, why? Why would you do that? To whenever they were saying, "Oh, we want to save Mantle," yeah, taking the people from their homes, that's not saving them. That's just taking them to be homeless. How is Vacuo going to keep all those people from another kingdom, an entire kingdom, in their own kingdom? Like, it's terrible. I mean, this is horrible. This is awful. This writing is just complete garbage. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire chapter down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and make sure you were still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.